Hey everyone, Tom here, Nostradamus Trades. You know what's going on. Today we're going to talk about Dropbox. This is a stock. It's getting a lot of attention lately. Let's get straight to the elephant in the room. You see it, right? Anyway, the reason this is probably trending so much is because Jeremy at Financial Education's been pumping it. He's going hard on it. He is looking to put, I think he's already put like 70 grand in there. He's making videos quite often on it recently. I want to get this out of the way right away. Jeremy has a great channel. I cannot recommend it enough. It's not particularly my trading style. I am heavily based into options. And as a bonus, towards the end of the video, he also did put out another video yesterday or the day before. I'll look that up and we'll put this up in the thing, where he says the 10 things to avoid in the stock market. These mistakes, don't make them. Number one's margin. I can't agree with that enough, and I can give some real world examples in that. I'll lightly touch on it at the end of the video. But his second one was options, and I agree with him and I disagree with him, and I'll get into that too. But anyway, back to Dropbox. Again, I'm an industry professional, system cloud network engineer, been doing it for a couple decades plus, have a lot of real world experiences. I'm going to give you my opinion. I do think Dropbox does have some room to grow, but I personally think you could probably put your money into better investments right now. So anyway, let's get right into it. So real quickly, Dropbox IPO'd back in March of 2018. It ended up around $31 a share, I think, by the end of the day. It's been a pretty bumpy ride since then. It has seen some lows. The lows were back in this March during the crash. It was around $14. It's made a little bit of a run up, but honestly, again, this is still IPO growth level stock. That in itself concerns me. I do typically try to avoid IPOs. I'm not perfect. There are some out there I do like to get into. From a sound investment, growth IPOs. So this is a bit out of the IPO stage, but it's still early. It's still in its heavy growth state. It most definitely has some room to run, but I'm going to get into why I think it's going to have some pretty hard times going forward. And that's going to be just the economy and the mindset of businesses in general right now, and some of the things the competition are doing to pretty much just really grow. And one competitor in specific that I'm going to discuss next is, I think, probably a better place to invest your money. However, again, I don't hate this stock. I actually love the product, real world experience using it at the business level. I will get into that a bit. Again, it does have room to grow. I do think it can easily see new highs, which would put it at a close to a 2x. Can it go 2x plus? Maybe. If you're looking for areas to put money into growth stocks, this isn't a horrible one. I like it a lot more than what I see people throwing their money in right now with all these SPACs. Workhorse, Lordstown, Hyliion, some of those, like Workhorse and Hyliion, I kind of like a little bit. But again, I preach all the time, watch your size. This is still a speculative growth stock. Just watch your size. Like, if you want to invest in it, I personally myself am not going to invest in it, but if you want to invest in it, just kind of a reasonable amount. And, Jeremy will tell you that himself. It's all about how well you diversify and not go all in. So for him throwing 70,000 in this, I mean, that's maybe a month's worth of YouTube income, not to mention all his other revenue streams. Again, mad props to him. He's built a crazy successful business. I personally just disagree with him on this stock. I gotta tell you real quickly, I'm looking at these thumbnails Jeremy does, and he just really pops out that white hat. It's making me want to go out and get one of those Cam Newton yellow pimp suits, that Nightman come with pimp suits. What do you think? Should I do that? Hey, it might not be a bad idea, right? But it might set me back a bit. So if you're really enjoying this content, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Hit that like button. It really does help the YouTube algorithm. Like, you don't hear that enough. Go ahead and comment down below what you think of Dropbox. You in Dropbox? Are you looking to buy Dropbox? Are you like me? You're going to avoid Dropbox. And then go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and let's go ahead and continue this video. So my main concerns with Dropbox really come down to two things. It really is the competition, and it's just the mindset of businesses today. We all know what's going on in the world. The world is changing drastically, and a lot of businesses out there are looking for ways to save money. Well, the competition, the big one out there is Microsoft. Microsoft has OneDrive, very comparable to Dropbox. They both basically do the same thing. Again, I'm an industry professional. I work for an MSP. We go out there, we help businesses lift and shift their infrastructure, implement technologies such as Microsoft, such as VMware, Palo Alto, things like this. Cisco, right? You get it. Well, at the end of the day, most of these businesses use Microsoft. They use Office 365. Most of you, or a lot of you, are probably familiar with it. You use it yourself. You work for a company. You use, like if you're logging into Outlook, chances are you either have an on-prem Exchange, which is eventually going away, or you have Office 365. I personally design and architect almost every business we do with Office 365. I tell them, you know, let's get on the Office 365 with your subscription, and it's pretty cheap. We're talking like 12 to 20 bucks a month, depending on some of the features when it comes to security, things like that. But for even as little as like $12 a month, you get the full Office suite. That includes Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. You get that as a monthly subscription fee. You get OneDrive. You get Teams. I don't know if you're familiar with Teams, but it's very Slack-like. And let me tell you right now, Slack is way better than Teams, but Microsoft will probably figure this out and Teams will catch up. Teams does some things very well, including video conferencing. Microsoft has their Skype for Business, which a lot of people don't even realize that businesses are full on using that as their PBX phone system now. Microsoft is really figuring this out. Wow. So I just was editing that. I cut it short. Let's get to brass tacks. Why go with Dropbox when Microsoft does the exact same thing? Most businesses out there, are a huge majority, already have Office 365. They're already paying for it. Dropbox is great, but why spend more money when it doesn't give you any extra features? On top of that, Microsoft has a lot more going for it with Teams. Organizations are moving their server and infrastructure into Azure and the cloud. Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, hardware as a service, blah, 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 blah. I design and implement this stuff all the time. Again, much love to Jeremy, love his channel. I'm not try not to be negative here. I did like ramble on a bit. If you made it through that last 5 minutes, again, I greatly appreciate it. If you found it useful, please like, subscribe, comment below. It really helps the channel. I really do appreciate it. Once again, the reasons I'm in there, I see it, I'm in the battlefields. We transitioned away from Dropbox. I do think that can continue. Again, I also think, Dropbox will continue to earn revenue. They may continue to grow. I just don't know at what rate, and I wouldn't be surprised if seeing a pullback. That leads me into my outro. I did mention that Jeremy did post a really good video about the 10 things to avoid in the stock market or something like that. I forget the exact title. The number 1 and 2 were margin. I cannot tell you enough how much I find it just absolutely incredibly insane how many people are out there using margin. I don't find it that insane because when I was younger, I made the same dumb mistakes. Most of you are going to get your face melted off. You're going to have margin calls. They're going to come out of nowhere. It's going to ruin some lives. Margin ruins or at least sets you back for a long time. I've experienced a margin call. It came fast, it came hard, it came brutal. The interest rates, he goes into this. I'm not gonna go any more into this. You know what? I'm gonna create a whole dedicated video to this. His second big thing was options. I agree and I disagree. Way too many people out there, especially young investors, they think they know what they're doing. They think they got this figured out. I used to be that guy. Let me tell you, I got more experience than a lot of you watching this channel. I'm sure there's some people out there that kick my butt with knowledge, but they will agree with what I'm about to tell you. The more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know. And when it comes to the stock market, even the brightest still don't know a lot. Even the best make mistakes, and all of them will tell you, do not do margin. There's even been some videos that just really like using margin to buy a house, anyway, right? again, I'm going to save this for a future video. Again, I really do appreciate all the love. If you found this useful, like, subscribe. Let's wrap this up, and I'll catch you guys later. And gals, peace.